We now take you to Imbali in Pietermaritzburg, where 10 members of the Memela family were killed in the early hours of this morning. Kainda Jagmohan is there and joins us now. Kainda, another sad day, another situation we find ourselves in where a mass shooting has occurred and so many members of the same family executed. What do we know about this killing?
Certainly, the community members on the ground are terrified as well. Some of them telling us about how they heard the gunshots ringing in the air last night. My colleague behind the camera, Ngobande, will show you the house in the distance. We're a bit further away, the police barricade, of course, but investigators are on the scene. We understand a provincial task team is here as well. But to just clarify the number of people who've died here, we're going to speak to the police spokesperson in KZN, Brigadier Jane. So thanks for your time. If you can please recap for us the number of people who were murdered here last night.
So from what we can tell, it's 10 people that have passed away. 7 of them are female and 3 are males.
Brigadier, of course we understand that the police minister is going to be here later today, but just in terms of the possible motive or knowing how many gunmen there were, do you have any details of that so far?
The motive at this stage is still unknown, but we have detectives from our provincial organized crime unit that are on the scene. They will be taking over the investigation. From what we know is at around 2 o'clock this morning, police at Blesseslau were contacted by members of the community who had gunshots going off. I believe there was load shedding at that stage, so the community members could not see what was going on, and they contacted police. Fortunately, the Blesseslau police station is not too far away, and the police officers were able to get here within a few minutes. The gunmen had fled by that stage. From witnesses, we were told that there was two gunmen. They entered the home and they just indiscriminately opened fire on the occupants of the house.
Brigadier, do we know if any minors are among the deceased at this stage?
I don't have all of the ages, but I am told that there were children in the house also.
Finally, so of course the police minister will come, but just as we start reporting on this matter, mass shootings in KZN is a point of concern right now. We saw another shooting last night in KwaMashu as well. What are the police's investigations into the series of shootings here?
I don't think they are related, but unfortunately there is that culture of where people are just killed, as I said, indiscriminately, and that's something we need to address, and it's not just a policing matter. It's something much bigger than that, where people are killed, as you said, even children are just killed randomly, and it's totally unacceptable. So, as I said, the police will be engaging with other stakeholders in terms of addressing this, because this is quite widespread in different communities in KZN, so it's quite widespread. Where people are killed for different reasons.
Certainly. Brigadier, thank you for your time. We're going to leave it there because, of course, we will be speaking to various government officials as well. We understand that the Sunduzi mayor is here too, so we're going to take his voice. But around us as well are many community members who, when we approach them, are afraid to speak out because of the fact that crime is rife in this particular community of Imbali. So right now we're just going to give you a view of this area. Unfortunately, we can't get too close because of the police investigations, but we earlier saw 2 mortuary vehicles here as well, presumably of course to conduct the investigations and remove the bodies. At this stage, of course, police cannot confirm if any minors are among the deceased. We're going to have to confirm that a bit later on, but community members around us tell us that there were actually minors in the house, so those details are to be clarified. But what we know right now is that 10 people from the Memela family here in Imbali were gunned down in the early hours of this morning by armed men who fled the scene. We know that at least 7 women and 2 men are among the deceased. These details will be cleared up, but again, crime has been rife across the province. Just yesterday, of course, we know there was a shooting in KwaMashu where 4 people were killed, and we know that police are investigating that. But along with this, we have seen taxi violence unfolding in the province as well, where we understand that a taxi boss was killed in Verulam yesterday too. Of course, these incidents are not necessarily related, but it shows the escalation of crime and, of course, gun violence in this province. The police minister, we understand, is on his way. He might be here at around 11 o'clock, but we'll keep you updated with the voices of community members and government officials. As you can see, police there are still investigating, scoping the scene, crime scene investigators as well, that will try and determine what happened here and who the suspects might be.
Kainda, before we let you go, I'm not sure if you have this information, but certainly something worth asking. We certainly heard from the police commissioner that you spoke to a little while ago that there was indiscriminate shooting of these family members. Do we have any idea, were all these members in a single room? Obviously it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Did the gunmen move from room to room in this process of execution?
At this point, we're told that all of the family members were in this very small house that's behind me. And it's unclear at this point where exactly each of the deceased were inside the house. We're told that the gunmen opened fire randomly. We also need to understand why exactly this house would be targeted, for what reason, of what motive, and if the gunmen were going after a particular person. But those details, of course, will have to be revealed by the police as they continue investigating. And the main point now, of course, is for police to try and find the gunmen that would be in this area. We're just going to move aside as some of the detectives are working around us too. But indeed, we're going to also try and get more word from the community members. There's a group of ladies that are standing nearby who have been here from this morning watching the scene unfold. They say that they're afraid to speak out because they spoke briefly about how crime has increased in the specific area. It's not the first time they've seen a shooting like this, although this is one of the incidents where they've seen the most number of deaths with regards to a shooting in this area. But one of their comments on the sidelines was that they need attendance to what is happening here because they say they fear for their lives regularly because of how crime is unfolding, specifically shootings here as well. So we're going to move out the way for a moment, but in the next hour or so, we'll give you a voice from the Msunduzi mayor. He's also the chairperson of the ANC regional group here. So he will have a lot to say with regards to how his municipality is trying to secure or safeguard the citizens, especially following a shooting in this regard. It's a mass shooting here is what has happened. And what we know so far is that the gunmen are still at large.
Kainda Jagmohan coming to us from Imbali in Pietermaritzburg. Appreciate your time. Now, as you can see, in fact, from the information that we've just gathered, a family of 10 were shot and killed in the early hours of this morning. Details still a little bit sketchy, but that car that just drove out is part of the detective team. We'd like to imagine that potentially could be following up a lead. But as the morning progresses, we'll get more information on what transpired and what led to the deaths of those family members.